Okay, so I've been doing a little bit more experimenting with the send command and the transfer command, and I was missing some pretty important point about this transferring ether in a smart contract. So let's get started. So the first thing is that I didn't realize, the thing I didn't realize is when you do a transfer, it is coming from the contract's balance. So in order to get this whole thing to work, we are actually doing a proper transfer from one account to the other. The contract needs a receive function. So that is going to actually have to be the next step here, is creating a receive function. The way it would work, I would think, is the ether is transferred to the contract, and then the contract can then transfer it to the person who's supposed to get paid. So that is the next step, and that's something I have to look at. But I did get this simple example working. I've already deployed it, and all I'm doing is transferring balance from to the receiver. The receiver is defined above, and it's hard-coded because I was testing. But let me show you. So I do this transfer to, and as you can see, it worked. And we could, sometimes this debugger, there's essentially a bug in Remix that the debugger decides not to work. But you can see transfer from, transfer to, so transaction hash, let's go back up here. Transaction line and execution succeeded from, let's see what the from is. We have to go here to see the from. Well, that's interesting. And it's going to, so it's going to 5.2, and let's see something. This is transfer to again from 2. So it's going to this address here, and my guess is what's happening is if we, okay, let's see, we want the, you know what, to prove my theory, what I'm going to do is I am going to redeploy the contract. So let's do that. And, okay, the transaction costs, but do they have the name, the from, okay, that's execution, the person doing the execution. Let's see if I can find the transaction wallet. See what we got. Transaction wall 2 at, well, now let's do a transfer and see what we get. No, it did not like that for some reason. So let's clear all this out and try it again. It could be that the contract run out of ether. So the contract. All right, now let's do the. Now that's interesting. This was working, and now it decided same exact code. So this could be an issue of the contract just running out of. Let's see something. I'm going to restart this and see if that changes anything. So connect to localhost, and let's see what we got. Because this is interesting because this had been working. So we compile it, we publish, and we deploy it. Okay, it's successfully deployed. Let's see what we got. Is there a... Let me see. I am going to copy this this value here, which is the contract address. And now we're going to try the transfer. If you send value, okay. Now it all of a sudden doesn't like it again. That's interesting. I'm going to try changing it back to send and see what happens there. Compile. Let's get rid of the old contract. There's no confusion. Deploy. And then now again, I'm going to get the contract address. And I'm going to, so it like that. Yeah. Notice here it went to the transaction wallet. This is, when I looked at the number, this is the, so you're sending it to the wallet. And you're sending it to the wallet, okay, from the Java selected, that's interesting. It just ignored it. Because receiver is the old wallet. Let me try something. Let's do a little, I'm going to go back to this provider. And now we go back to this. And I'm going to deploy. And I'm going to change. I'm going to change who, actually, let me deploy with this address. and then send with this address. And transfer to. Alright, so now we got from this wallet, and if you look here, yeah, it's always going to send it to the from the sender to the wallet of the contract. That is interesting. Now let's try getting rid of this and see if I can do it with transfer, and let's see if there's any difference here. So I got to go back and compile it and deploy it. And let's get rid of this. Let's go to the new one. And this is OXC. And let's see what happens when we transfer. I didn't like that. Yet it was working before. That's interesting. Maybe it's this problem. Doesn't like the admit for some reason. So let's put this up here. Trying to use all my tricks to try to understand what's going on here. So let's get rid of that. Let's make sure and deploy. And so there is some difference here, and that is very interesting. So I guess the key takeaway here is that we're not specifying. I understood it initially mean who is sending it. I mean, if you look at the ones that succeeded, let's go back here. So the from is the person sending it, and the to I thought was going to be the recipient, the receiver. See, I understood this to mean this guy transfer this amount of money from the sender, but it's actually from the contract. So, as you can see, there is some more work to be done on this. I haven't got it quite right, but this is a key thing, because in a lot of these contracts you may be transferring Ether between wallets, and I think it's important to understand how to do that correctly, and so far we haven't quite gotten it, but once we have it, that should complete the contract. So anyway, hopefully you've learned something from this. I'm certainly learning, trying to get this whole thing to work, and I will speak to you next time. Please, if you enjoyed, please give a like. Please subscribe. Please ring the bell to get notifications, and share it with your friends if they're interested. Okay, take care.